Is everybody, am I good to? Hello, everybody. My name is Marianne Fant Levandoski. I am the Grassroots and Outreach Director for MAPSA, and MAPSA is Michigan's Charter School Association. So we are the association in the state of Michigan that advocates on behalf of charter schools, both brick and mortar and cyber charters in our state. So I just wanted to hop on, introduce myself, and give you a little bit of presentation on what MAPSA is, what we do, and also to provide some charter facts for you all, and hoping that you can take away something from this presentation that you'd be able to share with others in your family, in your community, especially because there's still so many myths and misconceptions out there about charter schools. So thank you so much for having me and for taking the time to watch this video. So this first picture is Charter Day at the Capitol. It's our huge rally. We do it every year in the spring. This year, I'll do a little plug. You can save the date. It is on Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026. It's about a half-day event. Starts around between 9 and 10 when people start arriving and schools start to arrive. And we do a Capital Steps program. We have schools that perform, and we do a living wax museum with students who represent some of our state lawmakers. It's a really great event. Last year, it was pouring rain, and we had about 1,600 school stakeholders still attend. It was like a monsoon, but it's a really fun day. So that's what that picture is, and hopefully we'll be able to see you this April, again, April 22nd. Next slide. So what is MAPSA? Again, we are the state association. We advocate on behalf of charter schools in Michigan. If we had to divide our work into small buckets, these would be the 4 buckets of work that we mostly do. And the first is advocacy. We advocate for policies that support innovation and flexibility for all schools. We believe in supporting what's best for all students, which is school choice. There is not a one-size-fits-all in education, and the future of education is definitely changing, and we believe that the future of education will look much different today than it does in the future. And so we do a lot of work around advocacy and what's best for students in Michigan. We also do a lot of communications work. We believe that the strongest foundation to advocacy is a strong voice, is strong communications and storytelling. We lead a lot of public relations efforts. We have lots of social media platforms, and we lead storytelling campaigns for Michigan charters, across our state. We also do Grassroots. I lead this work, and we believe that every family deserves the right to choose a school that best meets the needs of their children, trying to build a really strong foundation of parents and families to use their voice, to share the stories. Why do you choose a charter school year after year? What makes the charter school that you send your child to special and unique? What makes you choose that charter school over maybe your neighborhood elementary school or middle or high school? We just believe that using and partnering with families in this effort to hear our voice and to share our stories with lawmakers and decision makers is really important. And the last group or the last bucket of work is just support. Schools are members of MAPSA, so we're a membership organization, and charter schools around our state are members of MAPSA, and we support them in any way possible, really. So it doesn't matter if it's best practices or collaboration or opportunities to network. We try to provide those opportunities. We also have what we call our professional innovators in education program, and so that's helping to build a talent pipeline of teachers. We know that finding teachers and retaining teachers gets more and more difficult each year. And so we're helping schools to build that pipeline and helping schools certify teachers who might maybe are in the process of it or have been hired with a bachelor's degree and still need support obtaining the teaching certificate. So those are the 4 buckets of work, really mostly that we focus on. A little bit of background about charter schools. Michigan's diverse and innovative charter schools really shape the dynamic and creative learning opportunities that meet the needs of students in very diverse communities. There are nearly 300 charter public schools in Michigan. We serve about 10% or over 150,000 students in the total K-12 student population in Michigan. So of all of the K-12 population, charter schools, serve about 10% of our student population. I think another key fact to bring up is that 85% of Michigan voters support giving parents options and do believe in school choice. So you'll have a lot of haters out there that don't believe in school choice when it comes to traditional districts. So that would be like Dearborn or Dearborn Heights. Detroit public school communities. Those school of choice going from one traditional school district to another is supported, but when it comes to homeschooling or micro schools or charter schools, that's where it starts to get a little bit, tricky, and where there's some differences in opinion on whether there should be charter schools around, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Just want to be able to give you a little bit of background, but in polling surveys that they've done, different organizations, 85% of Michigan voters do support giving parents options. Thank you. So, as I said earlier, the charter movement, the charter sector is very diverse. Many charter schools serve refugee, immigrant, and very culturally diverse families. Without increased funding, we provide things like adult language classes, community resources, and much more. Really, those are just a few. The charter schools in Michigan, I just really want to give kudos and a shout out, because the things that charter schools, the supports, the additional supports, additional classes and resources that charter schools provide our families is much more robust than what you might see in a traditional school district. As you can see, I put a little bit of data here on the slide. 50% of Michigan charter students identify as African American, compared to only 17% in traditional public schools. English language learners, 10% of our Michigan charter students are English language learners, compared to only 6% in traditional school districts. 76% of Michigan charter students are classified as economically disadvantaged, compared to only 48% in traditional public schools. And then also 10% of Latinx. So Michigan charter students identify as Latinx, compared to 8% in traditional schools. So we do serve a very diverse group of families and students, all the way from the Upper Peninsula, the UP, down to Benton Harbor, to Detroit and Metro Detroit area. So there are lots of charter students represented across the mitten. Okay, a little bit more information here. So the Michigan was among 10 states that were nationally the best performance among let me start over. Michigan was among the 10 states nationally that showed the best performance among charter schools. So basically, charter schools are doing well nationally, and Michigan charter schools specifically are leading the way. What this study found was that a student in Michigan who attended a charter school gains an additional 36 days of learning and reading each year compared to a student that attends a traditional school district. In math, that same study looked at students in Michigan, and in math, students gained an additional 24 days of learning each year. And so if you look at that, I mean, those are some big numbers. That's a great opportunity for our charter students to gain additional learning, additional knowledge in both reading and math. And we know nationally, typically reading and math scores are, have been coming in low, and in Michigan as well. But thanks to the work and the supports that charter schools offer, we know that our students are gaining more each year. Okay. So Michigan schools receive less funding. I don't want to get too into the weeds about funding, but I will tell you that during the 2020 and 2021 school year, charter schools reported about $12,100 in total revenue per pupil. So there's a formula for Michigan. Each student counts as a per pupil funding. So schools get money for every student who attends their school. So again, for charter schools, it was about $12,100 in 2020, 2021, compared with $13,400 per pupil for the local traditional districts. But on average, charter school students received about $1,300 less. But our data shows that Michigan charter schools are about 32% more cost effective. So what that means is charter schools are doing more with less. Our outcomes are showing better test scores. We know that we're providing additional supports above and beyond what a charter or what a traditional school district might be able to offer or support families. And so we're doing a lot more with less money. And then charter schools don't have the opportunity to access facilities funding. So like, let's say, I don't know, I'm just picking a random school. This isn't, accurate. It's not 100% something that maybe Dearborn Heights needed. I'm just making this part up. But let's say Dearborn Heights Public School District needed a new roof on one of their buildings. They have an opportunity to access like a millage or a bond. They can levy that money to help fix a new roof. But charter schools are not allowed to access that funding. So we have to build a new roof or a new boiler system or heating or cooling. We have to use our per pupil money for facilities updates. So again, it just shows that we are more cost effective and that we're doing a lot more things with less money. Now I want to kind of talk about some charter school myths. So charter schools have been around only 30 years. It seems like a lot, but really, if you look at the grand scheme of like education, since back in the day, charter schools have only been around for 30 years. What I want to point out is that even after 30 years, charter schools still have so much misinformation out there about them. Even after 30 years, people would like to see charter schools go away. People believe that charter schools aren't required to follow the same accountability measures as traditional schools. And people still don't understand the concept of charter schools. And so I came up with a few questions that I think would be fun to really engage with you all, because as you're out talking to family members, as you're out in your communities, there's still a lot of myths and misconceptions about charter schools. Lots of lies out there, lots of misinformation that people will use against charter schools. And so I just wanted to kind of put your knowledge to the test. And so I came up with a few fun questions. Hopefully you guys will participate and answer. And here we go. So, true or false? All charter schools are free, public, and open to all. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. Anybody want to comment or join the chat? Do you think that that's true or false? Are charter schools free? Are they public? And are they open to all? And this is, I should say, one of the biggest misconceptions about charter schools. Well, I'm going to give you the answer, and the answer is true. Charter schools are all free, public, and open to all. You will hear a lot of haters, people that do not support charter schools say, well, charter schools are for profit, which is not true at all. Now, some charter schools work with a management company to oversee and have, different, it could be maybe payroll or human resources, or maybe just hiring staff. The management companies might be for profit, but all charter schools are public schools. So when you hear people say, oh, the public school, charter schools, well, I won't even say that part because it's one of my questions. So let me just stop right there. Charter schools are free, they are public schools, and they are open to all. Charter schools don't discriminate against students. They accept all students regardless of any factors whatsoever. We also serve students who are eligible for special ed. The only reason a charter school might not be able to accept a student is because they're full. But the answer to that question is true. All charter schools are free, public, and open to all. Again, every charter school in Michigan is nonprofit, free, public. There is that huge misconception, like I mentioned, that charter schools are for profit, which is really far from the truth. Charter schools are part of the public school system. And then, like I mentioned, charter schools, just like any other type of public school, purchase goods and services from for-profit companies. So that's what I think confuses people a lot. And they think that because a school partners with a third provider, it might, make the school for profit, but that's absolutely inaccurate. So some of those services, like I said, would be HR, payroll, maybe plowing company for snow. But that does not mean that the school itself is not free, public, or open to all. Next question, do charter schools steal students from traditional school districts? Give you about 10 seconds if you want to answer that. You'll hear that too, charter haters, like, we don't like charter schools, they steal students from our school. Which my first response to that is that, first of all, students are not property. And so we're not stealing anything. Parents, we believe, know what's best for their child, and they deserve the option to choose what's best for their child. So that answer would be false. Correct. Michigan charter schools simply offer families, another option. Instead of being forced to attend maybe the neighborhood school or a school based on your address, families can choose the best fit for their child. It depends on their specific learning needs as well. There's no difference from family doing school of choice to move between traditional districts, like the example I made earlier, between choosing like Dearborn Heights or Detroit Community Schools. It's just about finding the right fit for your child. And so we believe that you chose, one of your Hamadi schools for a reason, and you deserve the option, you deserve the choice. The myth that charter schools steal students comes from traditional public schools who are really resistant to change and who do not want charter schools to be open. Next question, true or false? This is another biggie. You'll hear people who don't support charter schools saying charter teachers don't have to be certified. What do you think? Do you think that charter school teachers need to be certified? All right, next slide. Of course, that's false. We are the public school system. So in Michigan, our law is clear. Public schools must certify all teachers. And because charter schools in Michigan are part of the public school system, we certify all teachers. So contrary to that myth, teachers at charter schools are certified professionals who meet the same exact state certification requirements as teachers in traditional public schools. Our charter school teachers have proven to be dedicated educators, and they're highly qualified and committed to student success. So why is this important? So kind of at the top of the presentation, I just mentioned, that there's a lot of misconceptions and misinformation about charter schools. When schools and families build relationships with lawmakers or local officials, any kind of decision makers, and invest time to share your stories, we're really helping to create political cover for possible negative legislation. And then number two, when you educate and inform other families or people in your community, it just helps to grow the overall support of the charter movement. And it helps to dispel those charter school misconceptions. The more that we can all come together and help educate others on charter schools, the better and stronger our movement will be. And the more, potential funding that we could get for charter schools, the more support that we can gain for charter schools, and just the stronger our sector will become. And so it is really important to understand charter facts and be able to help dispel some misconceptions and misinformation about charter schools. Where do you all come in as families and as supporters? There's a couple different ways. If you're truly interested in advocacy and in supporting the charter school sector, help spread the word, help share information with others, help share your stories. If you've got a story that you'd love to share about why you choose your charter school, maybe you've got a child who already graduated. How did your charter school prepare your child for the future, for college, or for skilled trades, or whatever avenue they took after graduating? How did the charter school support you as a family? There's lots of stories out there. And so storytelling, like I mentioned, is really, really important as well. I have on here the My Charter Community. That's our Facebook group. And that is an opportunity for you to stay connected. There's a QR code here in a few slides that I'll share with you as well. Come in and join part of this group to help strengthen our movement would be really helpful. Do you know who your lawmakers are? Who are the lawmakers that are in your district? Where you live and where you send your child to school might be two different lawmakers. So every school, every address, whether it's your residence or your school, you have a state representative as well as a state senator. So if you don't know who your lawmakers are, you can go to MAPSA's website, which is just charterschools.org. Type in your address or your school's address, and it will automatically pop up and list out who your state representative and senator are. If you'd like to connect with them, if you'd like to share a story, I'm definitely here to help support you in any of those efforts. We do lots of calls to action. We're always looking for great stories to share with our lawmakers on why charter schools are important and how they support students and families. So look up your lawmaker, find out who they are. School visits. I do a lot of legislative engagement in the work that I do, trying to get lawmakers to come visit charter schools. They hear all of the negative things and they hear, you know, what haters have to say about charter schools. But when I have the opportunity to bring a lawmaker into a school to really feel and see and you know, join that school community, it really opens their eyes because they don't really understand charter schools and they don't know what we're all about. So work with your school, ask your leaders, would it be okay to invite a lawmaker? How could we make it a fun visit for them, to give them a tour or see the cool things that are happening in your schools? Another way is to attend coffee hours. We're always encouraging families. Once you find your lawmakers for your school, follow them on social media. Look to see when they might have in-district events, the senator or the representative and then you could attend their coffee hours. A lot of times their coffee hours aren't very well attended. And so it might just be you and your state senator. And you can tell them your story about your charter school, why you love your charter school, why you chose your charter school. It's just a really great opportunity to connect with your state leaders. And then the last opportunity where we'd love to see families, staff, students engage is at Charter Day at the Capitol. That's what CDAC stands for, Charter Day at the Capitol. And like I mentioned, that first picture with the 1,600 people, this year it's going to be on April 22nd. And that's where we just do a huge rally. Lots of people, lots of stakeholders come. We have a lot of lawmakers come out to the lawn, and we're just on the Capitol lawn, and we do a lot of fun activities and engagement. So those are all ways that you can get connected and help use your voice to advocate and amplify stories. And like I mentioned, the Facebook group, it's a private Facebook group called My Charter Community. The QR code is here on your screen, so just scan that. There's 3 questions that it asks what your role is. So are you a parent, or are you a staff, or are you a school leader? Your email, and then what charter school you are connected with. So a couple quick questions and you can join. Here in this Facebook group, you can get legislative updates, key information that might impact your school. You can connect with other families and other advocates to use your voice, share stories, and then also learn more about what makes charter schools successful across Michigan. I've been posting lately a lot of charter facts, so kind of similar to what I just did with you about the true and false. I might give a statement or some sort of charter fact that I either have to clarify or help dispel some misinformation. So that Charter Community Facebook group is just a really great way just to kind of stay in the loop on what's happening with charter schools across our state. And then, like I said, an opportunity to share some really cool charter highlights or success stories. That's all I have. Again, I appreciate the time that you've allowed me here to share some things about MAPSA as the state organization who advocates every day on your behalf. We appreciate you choosing a charter school. We appreciate the work that you do, the support that you provide even to your own charter school. And there's some contact information on your screen. You can follow us on our social media platforms. I know Hamari has great social media as well. You guys do a great job sharing the stories on social media, and we've had a lot of legislative engagement with the Hamari schools and our state leaders. And so those are just more ways, and just wanted to give you those social media handles. So if you'd like to follow us, that would be great. But I would love to answer any questions if anyone has any. My contact information is also on the screen. Feel free to shoot me an email. If you've got a great charter story that you'd like to share or questions about charter schools, I'm here to be a support and a resource for any of you that would be interested. So I'll wait quick second, see if any comments pop up in the chat. Nope. Okay, well, don't be shy. Reach out. I hope that you guys will join the Facebook group and just kind of stay in the loop on what's happening and all things charters in Michigan. So thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate you. And we'll talk to you again soon.
HES Academies have been serving the Detroit metro area for over 23 years, promoting academic excellence, leadership, and cultural diversity, ranking as some of the top schools in the state of Michigan. Our pre-K through 12th grade students enjoy tuition-free, state-accredited education by STEM-certified and highly qualified staff with no geographical restrictions, and with advanced placement, college dual enrollment, scholarship, and Arabic language programs. Nor International Academy in Sterling Heights at niapsa.org, Star International Academy in Dearborn Heights and in Canton at starpsa.org, Universal Academy in Detroit at universalpsa.org, and Universal Learning Academy in Westland at ulapsa.org. Join HES Academies today and enjoy a free Chromebook for every enrolled student.